Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to My City, My Health. This is the podcast powered by My City, My Health conference. And what we do on this podcast is I interview speakers and guests, sponsors that are part of this My City, My Health community. And today I am not a stranger to this wonderful human being.
Thank you.
Vanessa McNeal on the mental health panel this year at My City, My Health in November. Thank you for joining me today and
Thanks for
being
having
here.
me.
Thank you for being on the panel.
Yes.
Before we get into like just the day, your thoughts, I want people to know who Vanessa is.
Yes.
For somebody that is watching, that is going to be at the conference who doesn't know who you are, who is Vanessa?
So I am a keynote speaker and I speak about resilience, well-being, wellness, and I also life coach. So I help people get to the root of what holds them back, what stifles their voice, and I really help people see the fullness of who they are. I also host a series called Rewired Live. It's a live coaching event where the community comes out and they ask me questions that keep them up at night. And I coach them in the room, live, unscripted. And it's such an amazing conversation that I think people really crave, to have a safe space to ask the questions that you grapple with and have someone to be able to coach you through it.
Man.
And so it's really cool.
Man, I really wish I could have made it. It was my mom's birthday, so we were doing stuff. So
you had a good reason.
I had, no, but I'll be at the next one.
Yes.
What's so cool about that is like, one, I'm sure I wasn't there, so you definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but people are standing up saying things that maybe they never said to somebody else, or they've had questions about but couldn't get the answer. There's a vulnerability there that like, I'm about to stand up in front of a room full of people to get an answer. And to me, it's like, man, that probably needed to happen. So you probably need that answer so bad. You didn't care who was in the room, or it took you a lot of strength to be in the room on one hand, and for you to be able to add value in the moment. Is one, that is a gift. That is like not easy to do without being like, give me a second. And like,
that's true.
So tell me about the energy in the room, the feeling. What is that like for that person? Like, I'm sure they told you like, yo, I was nervous, or like what is that relationship like within that moment?
I think that there was an eagerness in the room. The second time around, there was a lot less hesitance than you would imagine going up and sharing a question. And I think the audience found so quickly how much of their questions were similar. And, there are different faces, there are different colors of people, different backgrounds, different walks of life. But there was this theme that you could see through the night, that people were sharing the same sort of questions or same experiences that they were working through. And so there was this sense of community in the room that happened. And there was one woman in particular who had this really big, brave, vulnerable moment. And after the break, you could just see swarms of people going to her.
Oh, man.
Like, oh, my gosh, I really resonated with that. I'm so happy that you said that. I'm going through that, too. And it was a really beautiful night to be a part of.
Man, that is so cool.
It was.
And, to tie that to, the mental health panel that you were on this year with other heavy hitters in the game. Like, I'm so excited to have you all together.
Me too.
But, and this is a year, you're going to be in a room full of public health professionals, community health workers, advocates, social workers, public health, healthcare, and everything in the middle of that, which has been a rough couple of years for people in that space.
Yes.
And the reason why I structured the panels like I did, where mental health is first, one, that's what the data told us, was that one of the vital conditions for health and well-being people felt like was necessary was their mental health.
Right.
But the way we structured it this year was looking at who's in the room every year is like, oh, we going through it.
Yeah, we are.
and we don't know what to do with that.
Mm.
There's a sense of like, all this is going on in the world and there's nothing I can do about it. Like there is that feeling and it's
Hopelessness.
that hopelessness. And it's like, okay, we need to set the room with a understanding of, yes, we know this is that feeling.
Mhm.
Let's bring you up a little bit.
Yes.
You know, does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
And I would just love to know, like, when you hear that from other professionals, and people in spaces, maybe not even public health or
Mhm.
healthcare, like, what is that like? What are the like? What is it about a time where you do feel hopeless and you don't even know where to start to get out?
Yeah, I think that there's this collective sense of hopelessness, and I think that I notice it now more than I think I've ever in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's that shared sense of people working in the mental health space of technology is changing faster and it's
Mm-hmm.
outpacing us in many ways. There's so many layoffs happening. There's less access to resources, to community supports, to those shock absorbers that should be there to help people.
Yeah.
And so people are isolated and they're lonely and they're hopeless, they're helpless. And I think that we have, we meaning mental health, coaches, workers, therapists, have this deep sense of responsibility to meet the moment and to be able to help as many people as possible because I think people need help now more than ever.
100%. And even like for those in spaces where they were doing good work and passionate work, and now the work you were doing, you can't even say the words to it, or you can't even say it, or
Mhm.
a fear of not getting the the funds or the resources that you need to continue to do the work.
Mhm.
And now it's like, okay, do I pick do I choose what I feel in my bones are right? Or do I choose, paying my bills?
Right.
That is
Scary.
for a lot of people, that's what we're living in right
Right.
now. And to what you said earlier, the limited resources and like the sense of like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And the I call it the annoying optimistic in me. There are like sometimes people don't want to hear it's gonna
Yeah.
get better. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hear that right now.
Right.
But like how do you still keep that optimism
Mm.
when it doesn't feel like there is something there? Like some people can do it and some it is there here's a better question though. Is there does it make more sense to sit in how you're feeling and recognize it or try to get out of it and see the best of it as soon as you can? Like, what's that balance?
Yeah. I think it's a dance. It's a dance between naming the elephant in the room, which is life is really hard right now.
Hmm.
No matter who you are, we are feeling the effects of the global change, the stripping away of resources, the demands, the pressures. And we get to name that and we get to acknowledge that. And I think the other part of that dance is one of my really good friends, he asked me after a big rant I was having about all of this, he was like, "And what are you gonna do about it?"
Ooh.
So it's important to acknowledge, it's important to like, okay, look at all this stuff
Yeah.
and it sucks. And what are we gonna do about it? From an internal lens, from a collective lens,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do about it? Because we can sit in this for a really long time
Yeah.
and feel suffocated by it. And we're sovereign people. We're powerful people in spite of the overwhelm that we're facing and feeling. We still have autonomy over the way that we choose to show up in the world. And that sense of radical responsibility lies with us and how we're going to
Yeah.
move.
I love that what are you going to do about it? That really I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I think, we already do so much.
Hmm.
And I was having this conversation with someone literally 2 days ago.
Hmm.
And she was kind of venting. She hosts events herself. She does
Hmm.
a conference herself, and she was venting about the fact that someone had said to her, "Why do you keep doing this? Like, what's the point of doing a conference? Like, why are
Mm.
you doing it? Like, there's no this person didn't feel like there was any value in it or this, that, and the third." But to your point, like, this is a part of doing something about it. And it's like we cannot stop having the conversations.
Right.
Even when it feels like there is no solution.
Right.
If you stop talking about it, there will definitely not be a solution.
Right.
So I think like the event that you do, even if that person stands up and maybe they don't feel like um, they're not going to get an answer.
Mhm.
Maybe they'll get a better answer than if they would have stayed at home.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm not saying my city, my health will have all the solutions and we will leave there knowing where to go next. But we have to keep it fresh in people's minds. These things are happening.
Mhm.
There are people in this room are trying to make a change.
Right.
Change is gonna come, as the song says, but if we
Mhm.
stop, then there will be no change.
Exactly.
Um, we get so stuck in this microwave mindset of like we want change right now,
Mhm.
and then but we gotta think the civil rights movement. It didn't take a day. That wasn't a week long.
It didn't come from one
And
person.
it didn't come from one person.
No.
And so we can't think that this change is going to happen right away. It
Exactly.
takes time and
Mhm.
consistency. And that consistency piece is challenging.
And one of the things that I talk so much about as a speaker is that we don't burn out just from what we're doing.
Hmm.
We burn out from the stories that we tell ourselves about who we need to be while we're doing it. And so we're not
Hmm.
just burned out from the conference, from the rewired lies, through the keynotes, through the coaching, through the therapy, all the things that we're doing as
Right.
change makers. We're burning out because of the questions that we're asking ourselves. And there are these core questions, the questions that we ask ourselves more than anything. And the question that you might be asking is, can I change the community with my city, my health? And that question is just like this cyclical
Right.
cycle, and you
Hmm.
can't see the end of it. And it's like some days you feel like you do, some days you feel like you don't, some days you're like, why am I doing this? But if you changed your question, then you change the path. And so if you asked a more empowering, fruitful question like, what does the data show about how people feel when they leave? Or what
Mm.
connections were made from community members to the community, sponsors that were in the room? Then you start to ask a better question, you get a better answer. Everyone's talking about AI right now and
Hmm.
how to prompt it. If you prompt AI with a sucky question, you're going to get a sucky
Good second
answer.
answer.
And the same things we can, that's again going back to like, what can we do? Not just the work that we might get burned out from, but how can we prompt ourselves with better questions that give us better answers about the meaning and the value, the purpose of our work?
Mm. Love it. And also to co-sign and to play off what you said with the AI piece, you also just can't take the answer you get from that prompt as like the 100% truth.
Exactly.
You have to challenge that prompt.
Yes.
And something that I am doing more now, now that I'm more mature, I have a better understanding of who not only I am and who Larry and I are as my city, my health, but like I don't want to create my city, my health is the answer because that is the wrong answer.
Yeah.
How can we be in partnership with other people, not even in the same space?
Exactly.
Like, you don't have to be in the healthcare space to do good work
Hmm.
with my city, my health.
Hmm.
And I try to impress that on like we are all in this together
Hmm.
as, as crunchy as that may sound, it's the truth.
It
It is the
is.
truth. But if we continue to act like, nope, my city mental health is here and this is what we're focused on, yeah, that may be good for grants and stuff like that. But like, it's not good for the overall community and the overall mission.
Exactly.
Like, this is my city, my health. We do this piece, this small piece, really, really well. But also, Vanessa does this piece well. Kayla does this piece well.
Hmm.
This nonprofit over here does that piece well.
Hmm.
What would it look like if we just put those pieces together and focused on one thing to move one thing forward?
Right. I mean, all of us are all just our own thread of a tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are we to think that we have enough
Yeah.
power to do it all when we could just do it together?
100%. And I think that will help definitely help reduce that hopelessness that a lot of people feel.
Yes.
Is like, oh man, I don't gotta do this alone. People that tell me all the time, hey Corey, how could I help my city,
Mhm.
my health? And I'm like, I don't know. But you know, but then I'm like, hey, I used to feel guilty about, hey, do you want to volunteer? Because I've
Mhm.
asked you to volunteer like 3 years in a row, brother. Like,
Yeah.
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 And people show up
Yeah.
and they show their support.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, I don't have to feel guilty about that.
Mhm.
Now that encourages me to
Mhm.
like, oh, I want to go help this other person. People helped me. I'm gonna push it forward.
Mhm.
And now we're just creating this really cool thing where we're helping each other.
Yes.
I think that's what needs to happen more to reduce some of that hopelessness. It's just
Yes.
helping each other. We just gotta help each other.
Yes, and I think managing our expectations is really
Yeah.
important. I can't change the world as I know it, but I can, in my one-on-one coaching or in those rewired live
Mhm.
settings or even on stage as a speaker, even if one person was highly impacted by what I said or what I invited them to do, there's
Man.
an invisible thread of people that they
There's
interface
a
with.
ripple effect there.
We'll never see it and we'll never know it unless we really think about it. But
Mhm.
even if one person makes such a big impact, their kids and then their kids and then their kids and their
Mhm.
workforce and the people that they interface with in the community, all of it is connected. And if we got out of our ways and moved our egos aside in terms of like quantity or again, feeling like we need to bear the responsibility of all this stuff that needs to be fixed, we could just see it for what it is.
Oh my God, yeah, and that's heavy to feel that way, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in these spaces, it's just kind of a natural thing to feel like, "Oh, I'm not doing enough."
Hmm.
There are gonna be a lot of people in this room that feel like they're not doing enough.
Hmm.
What would you say to that person that's like, "I'm not doing everything I know I could do. I know I have the capability to do more, but I'm not doing enough."
I would say that that's a really terribly framed question. It's very disempowering because that
Right.
question is setting them up for a trap that
Mhm.
it doesn't breathe life into how they want to move forward. So I'd invite them to change their question. What is a better, more life-giving, more empowering question that could acknowledge, yes, that you want to do more, but that acknowledges all of what you've done or what you can do?
Mm,
So I'd invite them to change their question, and that question could sound like, "What what lights me up about this work that can create more momentum?" Or, "What is one uh, space in the market that I haven't tapped yet that I would love to?" Like you can feel the energy shift of those questions, and we identify with those questions. We build a life around them because they're literally the lens in which we see everything through. So if you
right.
changed your question, you could change what you're seeing and your subsequent life can shift too. So I totally get that though. There are seasons of my life where I feel like I'm not doing enough and I just changed my question. And I would just remind everyone listening to this podcast that's been on the ground doing this work that you will never fully know the impact that you're
I
making.
know.
You'll never know.
Mhm.
I had an audience member from a keynote reach out to me 2 weeks ago and they were like, Vanessa, I heard you speak a year ago and everything that you said still sticks with me. I go to a ton of conferences and everything bores me because it's nothing like you've given me.
Yeah,
I would have never known. And thankfully I had that experience where I could hear how deeply the impact is, but most of us will never get that.
right.
So we just have to do that internal shifting around. You'll just never know.
Mhm.
Just the smile that you give, the deep listening, the caring, all of that stuff matters. And you might not hear again the people that will tell you how much it meant to them, but you just know that it has to.
100%. You brought up life-giving in our other podcast, Coffee Can Fix Everything. I've linked
Hmm.
that episode here.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was so much fun. Um, I feel like that word, life giving.
Mhm.
Talk to me more about like what that means to you when you say life giving. Because for me, I can tell you, for me, um, I don't feel like, and I'm coming from the perspective that those are going to be in the room.
Mhm.
There are going to be a lot of people who are in helping professions that
Mhm.
are giving their life to others.
Mhm.
How do we start to give life to ourselves?
Mm. That's a brilliant, brilliant question. How do we give life to ourselves when we're used to just giving it away?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, that's really good. I think it goes back to the questions like, are you at a place in your life where that once filled you up but doesn't anymore? And you get to ask yourself questions about why that might be. Is it because of your expectations? Is it because of your workload? Is it because of you thought that you wanted to do this, but now you're years deep in it and you're tired of it? Like, what does that really look
Mm-hmm.
like? But I like to think of everything as energy. We're either like depositing energy through our work and it just fills us up, it gives us that life. Or are we a part of a relationship, a conversation, a workforce that's depleting us or withdrawing too much? So I think there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of inner work that we get to do around reflecting, why do I feel depleted from this? Or what about this brings me life? Because I think that we all have life force energy, that we're
Yeah.
bringing like this purpose, this passion, all of that is our life force. And if we're not careful, it gets depleted through the questions that we ask, through the expectations, through giving too much of ourselves away. But I think the filling up comes from those internal reflections around what's working, what's not working, why isn't it working anymore? And we as helpers get so caught up on problem solving or fixing that we also forget that we're here to live.
Man.
We're here to breathe. We're here to experience beauty, to experience goodness. And we can stay in gloom and doom because we decided that we wanted to like be in this corner of the earth, but there's also so much more. So that's what I do when I feel like my cup is getting uh, empty. I fill it back up and I'm like, oh yeah, like all this stuff is happening here. There's a lot to be fixed, but look at all there is that's good too. Because there's
Mm.
so much more of that than what we can focus on.
Yeah. I feel like I am in such a lucky situation. I'm just very grateful that the things that give me life outside of work,
Mhm.
like having these conversations,
Mhm.
they just give me so much energy, and it actually is like, oh, I do this for a living too. Like
Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky ones that can say, hey, what I'm doing,
Mhm.
because um I've been always someone that's like, you just need a hobby or something that makes you feel good about yourself. So
Mhm.
anybody, especially a lot of my social work friends or anybody in the spaces is like, well, what do you do outside of work? And it's
Right.
like, either I don't know, or like
Mhm.
I don't have time,
Mhm.
or they don't see that thing that they like as like a life giver
Right.
or something like that.
Mhm.
And it's like, man, you gotta find, those weren't the words I would use, but like,
Sure.
man, you gotta find something that you like to do, because if
Right.
you're constantly thinking about the woes of the world and how
Mhm.
you gotta give,
Mhm.
that is that's hard. That's a hard life to live. Like
Yeah,
you're
it
gonna crash
is.
and burn.
You
You're gonna
are.
crash and burn.
Yeah. And you have to seek the evidence. It's
Yeah.
seeking the evidence that there are good people in the world, that people do care, that change is happening, because it is like all of these things are true and multiple things can be true at
Hmm.
once. And I think that we get locked in on a certain truth that we don't even allow ourselves to see because we're filtering out our world through this one lens of things are hard, people are hopeless, just hopeless.
Hmm.
And it's like, yes, people are hopeless. And there's a bunch of other truths happening too.
Right.
People have more language for what mental health is than they ever
Yep.
have. People are talking more about mental health than they ever have. Like, more things can be true than
Right.
we allow it.
Man, there's hopelessness, and then there's anger. So I want to give you this scenario and see how you
Mhm.
handle this. Vanessa, I've only known you for you are very soulful. That's the word I will use. Vanessa, let's just say hypothetically,
Mhm.
Vanessa got angry and smacked somebody. Boom. Right?
No.
Okay. How does Vanessa get herself back to like yourself again?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are angry and don't know how to get out of that anger.
Mm.
How do you get back? How do you release that anger?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I get familiar with it, and I
Mm.
imagine that I'm here on a couch, anger sits next to me, and I'm like, "Why are you here? What do you need? What are you lacking? What are you trying to tell me?" And I
Huh.
don't demonize it because I do get angry, and people are always so surprised. They're like, "You get angry," and I'm like, "Ask my kids, they know." I do. Ask my husband, he knows. But it's not bad.
Hmm.
It's just it's in response to something, and anger is a very protective emotion. And so I ask it like, what are you protecting me from? Where is the injustice here that you're
Mm.
trying to armor me for? And so I just get to know it. I get to understand what it needs from me, and then I give that to it. And then I do, regulation tools, breath work, breathing, meditation, therapy, energy, healing work, all of the things so that I can find my center again. But I don't see anger as separate as me. It's just this
Mm.
emotion that's a part of my wheelhouse that shows up when there's injustice or it shows up when it feels like it needs to protect me from something.
Man, it's almost unrealistic to feel like no one gets angry.
Oh,
Like,
so unrealistic.
like you just gotta lift it out. But it's the thing where it's like, okay, how do you? And this is something I'm trying to teach my son. It's like you can be angry. I
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge that anger,
Mm-hmm.
but how you show that anger, I think, is important in the sense of, we live in a world where um people are going to judge your character and your actions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I want to stifle my son's anger.
Mm-hmm.
I just want him to have the tools to be able to, one, know when that anger is there
Yep.
and how to like get back to even if you're still angry, how can you like, okay, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. Right now is not the time to smack somebody.
Right. Right. No. That's not helpful.
That is not going to help the situation.
Yeah.
Let me try to maneuver through this and get
Yeah.
to a point to where I then can go through the feelings and like what you were just saying, like give it what it needs,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
I feel like there may be like a time and a place to do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, with our son, he's 6, but we talk to him about anger's not bad,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't hurt yourself or other people with it. And
Mm.
so when he's mad, we're just, what do you need right now? And it's usually he just wants to be heard. And that's
Mm.
what most of
Mm-hmm.
us can resonate with or relate to around. We're getting
100%.
mad because we don't feel like we're heard. We don't feel like we belong, or there's something out of place. There's a misalignment somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to give him the language to understand, like, what is anger wanting from you right now? And then how can
Right.
you go back to your center? So we do a lot of breathing work with him. We talk a lot about feelings, and we just help him to find his safe place within himself so that he can go back to that when the anger
Mm-hmm.
gets really big. And it's usually, he's obviously 6, but we find that when he's really deep in his anger, you can't reason with
No.
someone there.
Mm-mm.
So we just let him feel it. He fully feels it. And then we're like, okay, what did it need? Where are you at right now? How do you find yourself?
Yeah. And I think there's something too, like acknowledging that, like my son, he got mad about something that in my mind at the time was like, we making this a big deal, but it was a big deal to him.
Hmm.
And he got up and he said, I'm getting frustrated. I'm gonna walk away.
Love that.
And I'm like, okay. He came back and I said, yo, that was really good. That was dope. I'm glad you did that. Right. He was like, thank you. Right. He said, thank you.
Hmm.
But then what I noticed was that his behavior the rest of the night was like he was so happy.
Mm.
It was like I'm so happy you acknowledged my frustration.
Yep.
And then you gave me a good job of like you noticed that.
Yep.
Okay, now
That's really
I'm
cool.
good now. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And we've always been, I feel like it's our generation too of
Yeah.
like just normalizing this behavior or being like, hey, cry. I want you to cry. I'd rather you cry now, get it out. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
And I feel like my kids are maybe a little bit more emotionally mature because we've allowed them
Yep.
to let these things out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so beautiful to see.
It's beautiful. It's
Mm-hmm.
big work.
And it's parenting ain't forever. It's parenting is, woof. Ooh, we could have a parenting panel
Exactly.
at My City, My Health.
Yeah,
And that thing would be packed of
it
like,
would be bad.
Vanessa, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, so what is it, this year, first of all, I want to know, how do you feel about being a part of My City, My Health? What's the energy that you're maybe hoping to see? I don't know if you've even heard a lot about My City, My Health, but how are you feeling about being a part of the
I'm
conference?
so excited. I'm just excited to be a part of a panel with so much wisdom. I'm like gonna be an audience member on the stage on the panel just because I want to hear what other people have to say. And so I think it's just the collective energy around it feels so good, and it's a place where people want support, and that's a great place to be.
Yeah, the hardest part of that day for me is having to remember that I'm hosting.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, right.
I
Because it's so
it's
good.
so good, and especially like the mental health panel.
Hmm.
Um, I just catch myself just watching and being like, oh man, and be like, oh shoot, I gotta go do something. Like
Totally.
and then like not wanting to leave it.
Yeah.
Um, what would what do you want people to know or to leave with that day? Is there a feeling that you want people, like, how should people leave that day or after your panel? How should they leave that moment? Or what is your hope?
Hmm. My hope is that people get a different perspective and they hear from different voices that will allow them to maybe see things that they haven't. And
Hmm.
so just like a perspective shift and hopefully feeling supported and to know that there's people out there that genuinely care, that want to be there to support them. And hopefully they're connected with organizations and partners that they didn't even know were here.
Yeah. And our goal this year, everybody's going to get the same resources that not only from our vendors, but also from our speakers. Like,
Yeah.
I think that is important that people know. 'Cause that's happened every year where someone's like, hey, who was that one person that was on that panel?
Hmm.
They said something that was super, super good. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, I was able to make the connection, but it's like, I can make this easier for a lot of
Yeah.
people to make that connection.
Mm.
So like, we're definitely going to have all of those things for people to connect with you. But until that day, November 13th, here in Des Moines,
Yes.
at Curate Des Moines. Get your tickets at mycity.health.
Yes, do that.
I gotta make that plug. For those that, who are listening or watching, where can they connect with you? Where can
Mhm.
they find you if they want to learn more about your next event in September? Talk more about that. September 11th, you have your next event.
Yes.
So you talked about it a little bit, but walk us through what
Mhm.
that event is like before we get going.
Yes, September 11th, 7 p.m. It's a Friday night at the Temple Theater. It's Rewired Live. It's where you come. You don't have to ask questions. I think that that's important to share, but people come out and they ask me questions about what keeps them up at night. So we're going to talk personal development, professional development, any challenges that you're feeling, and I life coach you through it. And whether you're someone that goes there and asks a question or just listen, you're going to leave with so much value. And you can find tickets at, we'll link it. That'll be the easiest way.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
you
I'll
can
put in, yeah.
also, learn more about me at vanessamcneal.com too.
VanessaMcNeal.com. And I'll make sure I have all of those links in the description of this on audio and on YouTube. Again, Vanessa, this is so great. Again,
Yes, thanks for having
I could
me.
talk to you all day. I could, but I won't take
Bye
more of your
bye.
time. I appreciate you being on the mental health panel this
Yes.
year. Everybody, um, I say this every time we do this podcast. You do not want to miss
Hmm.
not only this mental health panel, but this conference.
Yeah.
We have very valuable, important conversations that everybody can get involved with. You do not have to be in public health or healthcare spaces to join. This is open for community. So come with your questions,
Hmm.
and an open mind to learn and to move the city forward.
Yeah.
You can get those tickets. Go to mycity.health. You can learn more about the panels, who's on the panels, and the agenda for the day and register there.
Can't wait
All
to
right.
see you all.
See you next time.